Hello, I'm VXToyCat and welcome back to the video. So one of my favourite pages on the Minecraft wiki that you might not have known about is something called mentioned features. These are all the features that have been mentioned at some point by one Minecraft developer or another, and it's one of my favourite pages to read over that, again, you might not have known about. However, they've recently reorganised it so that it's sorted by year, and if you look at the year thing, you'll see that most of them came out in the past 2 or 3 years, but there are some mentioned features that go all the way back to 2011 that's still, somewhere on that maybe might come up at some point, and there's even a single feature from 2009, and that is the earliest mentioned feature. The earliest feature that hasn't been taken back at some point and that still could make its way to the game, and it is actually Fortress mode. And in today's video I want to talk about how Fortress mode could in fact come to the consoles and how that would be one of the best game modes they could make if it did, and that's what I'm doing in today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy. So like the video because it helps out the channel a lot, and let us know you do like the idea of Fortress mode. Again, I'll explain it fully in Notch's original words because this was written by Notch originally on the again his original post on May the 17th 2009. The earliest suggested features were creative mode eventually came, survival mode eventually came, and then Fortress mode. So he says after having built a level in creative or survival mode, you and your friends could connect to another fortress made by some other people. The map gets bigger to fit both maps, so your original world but also theirs, and then also after the map gets big to fit both maps, you can play a game on this map, perhaps capture the flag, perhaps something else. And although this was a vague idea and although it never made its way to the game, I figure there is now there was some mentions of it afterwards of the console being like, oh yeah, capture the flag could be exclusive there. One interesting thing is this Fortress mode thing could make perfect sense right now with the console, because bear in mind console is creating mini games right now, for the first time, like they're being built into the game, so that's a big thing by itself. And also bear in mind that they've said that building, they've said build battle or building time, something like that is in the, it's one of the planned mini games they've hinted at least becoming to the console. And if they're going to have a build battle style game mode anyway, wouldn't it be cool if there was a variant of it where after you built your things, because again, here's build battle right now, we've got these giant, this giant wall between us, we've got, let's say, 20 minutes to build something based on a theme, let's say that theme is castle, and would it be amazing, by the way, these aren't my builds, these were made by Jake Riley and or these two people right here. Big thank you for them to invite me into their world, so I could show it off as a great example of how, two fortresses could fight against each other. These are quite literally fortresses, but it could be anything. The build idea could be anything, and then as soon as you're done with it, as soon as you've made your little fortress, you've placed your, let's call it an end crystal for now as like your final point, and once that's been done, you build down the wall, and as well as just getting points based on how good your things look, imagine if afterwards you could actually fight each other to the death over it. So yeah, let's destroy the wall, because this is what happened, and again, you have no idea what the other person's built until this suddenly happens, so again, this is terrible because of the connection thing, but still, as soon as this is done, you'd be able to see like, oh yeah, there's one thing on one side, there's their thing on the other side, and then you have to fight to the death. So I think this would be more fun with at least 2 people on each side, but still, you can vaguely imagine it, right? Like, oh yeah, the thing comes down, and now you gotta go fight each other. So just an example in these particular 2 cases, again, this is Fortress mode, they built this amazing thing, and no, it's a nice little, kind of party room. So obviously there'd have to be some protections in place to stop you just making a labyrinth for every single one of these, but still, if you're trying to go for aesthetics that also protects your end crystal well, I think this would be a great little game, because again, all 4 of you have 1 life, you're all desperately trying to search for their end crystal while they're trying to desperately search for yours. And again, in this case, it's castle. Let's say castle is the theme, but it could be anything. Again, we've got like a blue castle and a pink castle. They've got to desperately try and search for your, rare thing. Well, they search for your thing. So again, you could play capture flag in this form, but I think the best way, I think the easiest way, would just be to have a simple objective of like find the thing, get the thing done. So in this case, it could just be like find the red wall or the blue wall for each team, or as you're going to see right here, it would be amazing if it was like, oh yeah, there's an end crystal. All you have to do is touch the end crystal in some way, and it'll blow up. And imagine if let's say after like 2 minutes or 5 minutes, it will actually show you where it is with the showdown thing, so you always know roughly where it is, and the first person to blow up the other team's one of these does the thing in the end. So explosions are turned off, but you know how that would work. In a normal game, it'd be a big explosive thing, and your team would win. And I think this is a really a fun little twist on how build battle would be, because build battle by itself to me isn't interesting. It's a popularity contest, and whatever that is. But imagine if also, as well as build battle, you had an extra minute, for this extra game mode where you make this amazing build, but then you have to try and hide or try and kind of protect the pathway to your end crystal. So while they're going around trying to do that, again, it took me some time. I'm running around this space being like, okay, do we want to go past the giant dungeon, or do we look around here? And it could be like this really interesting, kind of twist in both ways. So like, is it up here maybe? I'm not even entirely certain. And then if you add in the PvP factor, if they're trying to defend while you're attacking, you're trying to attack while they defend. There's only 4 of you on each team, or 2 of you on each team, so you've got to be really careful about balancing those. I think it could make for a really intense addition, or just even, way better than build battle. Minecraft. Like Build Battle, just being based on popularity, not too fun. You know what would make it really fun is if it was actually all about like this giant fight to the death. At least that's my opinion. I like PvP, I like the whole element of this whole thing, and I think a fortress mode coming to Minecraft, you know, 8, now almost 9 years later, would be a really, I think that would be quite an interesting little thing, and that is the oldest mentioned feature in Minecraft. That's how it could work, and this is one of the things I really like to see come. Whether it will happen or not is something we'll have to wait and see, but yeah, you can see they're getting in the spirit already, and this was just something kind of fun. I figured I would show off because, again, I think fortress mode would be amazing, and here's how it could look. Imagine if every time, though, it was random, you had no idea what was going to be on the other side, and you had to kind of like work with what the other people were doing. There'd be like a meta that developed. It'd be a fun little thing, and I'd love to see it come to the console. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like if you liked it, share if you really liked it, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.